NNPCO increases petroleum pump price nationwide. The company sincerely regrets any inconveniences this development may have caused, the statement said. InfoGist with the news. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) on Wednesday approved an upward review in the pump price of petroleum nationwide. The approval takes effect from Wednesday, 31st of May. The company says in a circular on Wednesday that the development comes days after the government's declaration that it will put an end to the fuel subsidy regime. Fuel queues returned to Nigerian cities Monday as many motorists scrambled to get petrol products hours after President Bola TINUBU announced that the government will put an end to the fuel subsidy regime. Mr. TINUBU on Monday in his inaugural address at Eagle Square, Abuja, declared that there would no longer be a petroleum subsidy regime as it is not suitable. We commend the decision of the outgoing administration in phasing out the petrol subsidy regime, which has increasingly favored the rich more than the poor. Subsidy can no longer justify its ever-increasing costs in the wake of drawing resources. We should instead rechannel the funds into better investment in public infrastructures, education, healthcare, and jobs that will materially improve the lives of millions of Nigerians, Mr. President says. Now, the nationwide hike, according to the circular being seen by Premium Times, the petroleum pump price adjusted for the Abuja pump price was increased from 194 naira to 537 naira per litre, while Nasarawa State moved from 189 naira to 537 naira per litre. The pump price in Plateau State increased from 189 naira to 537 naira per litre, while Kwara State increased from 189 naira to 515 naira per litre. Moving up to Kogi State increased from 189 naira to 537 naira. Benue likewise increased from 189 naira to 537 naira. Niger State not left out to increase from 189 naira to 537 naira. Adamawa State increased from 199 naira to 550 naira per litre, and Taraba State increased from 199 naira to 550 naira per litre. Now, the pump price in Bauchi increased from 199 naira to 550 naira. Gombe increased from 199 naira to 550 naira, and Borno increased from 199 naira to 557 naira. Yobe State increased from 199 naira to 557 naira, and Kano increased from 194 naira to 540 naira. A litre of petroleum in Kaduna increased from 194 naira to 540 naira, and Katsina from 194 naira to 540 naira. Moving up to Sokoto, Sokoto also increased from 199 naira to 540 naira. KB State also increased from 194 naira to 545 naira, while Jigawa increased from 194 naira to 540 naira. Zamfara State also increased from 194 naira to 540 naira. The pump price of petroleum moved from 189 naira to 515 naira in Abia State, and in Imo State from 189 naira to 515 naira. Anambra State also increased from 189 naira to 520 naira. Enugu State from 189 naira to 520 naira, and Ebonyi State also increased from 189 naira to 520 naira. River State also from 189 naira to 511 naira. Akwa Ibom State moved from 194 naira to 515 naira, and Bayelsa State from 189 naira to 515 naira. Cross River State moved from 194 naira to 511 naira. Edo State moved from 189 naira to 511 naira. Delta State moved from 189 naira to 511 naira. Lagos State from 184 naira to 488 naira. Ogun State, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti increased from 189 naira to 500 naira. Now, the company speaks confirming the adjustment in price on Wednesday. The company, in a statement by the Chief Corporate Commissions Officer, Gbera Dame Mohammed, said it has adjusted the pump prices of PMS across its retail outlets in line with current market realities. Now, the NNPC Limited wishes to inform our esteemed customers that we have adjusted our pump prices of PMS across our retail outlets in line with the current market realities, as we strive to provide you with the quality service for which we are known for. It's pertinent to note that prices will continue to fluctuate to reflect market dynamics. We assure you that the company is committed to ensuring a ceaseless supply of products. The company sincerely regrets any inconveniences the development must have caused, and we greatly appreciate your continued patronage, support, and understanding during this time of change and growth, he said. Now, talking to commercial drivers on Tuesday about the fuel hike, there are fares on various routes across Nigerian cities as long queues resurfaced in fuel stations amidst concerns over petroleum subsidy removal. Now, correspondents who monitored the situation found that the fares for both interstate and outside the states commuting increased sufficiently in most parts of the country. In many of the places visited by our reporters, transport fares jumped from over 100% depending on the route. Now, fuel queues turned to Nigerian cities on Monday as many motorists scrambled to get fuel products hours after President Bola Tinubu Ahmed announced that the government would put an end to the fuel subsidy regime. Now, Mr. Tinubu on Monday in his inaugural address at Eagle Square declared that he will no longer be paying for subsidy in Nigeria as it's no longer sustainable. Now, we commend the decision of the outgoing administration in phrasing the petroleum subsidy regime, which has increasingly favored the rich more than the poor. Now, in Abuja and Lagos, Nigerian Commercial Nerve Center Prime reports how the uncertainty created panic buying as motorists increased transport fare due to petroleum scarcity. Now, a civil servant in Abuja who does not want his name in print lamented of the hardship faced by residents since the scarcity began. Now, transport fare is now very high in many parts of the city, and it's like a war getting cabs, he also said. Moving over to Kano, tricycles operators within the Kano motorists ascribed the hike in transportation fare to the fuel scarcity in the state. Now, following the announcement of the subsidy removal, we observed that in Kano and neighboring Jigawa state, the many fleet stations were short. Some of the tricyclists, in a separate intention with our reporters, said and explained why the transport fare that cost 15 naira now costs 100 naira. Now, however, an official of the National Road Transport Workers, Isha Ibrahim, at the Kano Link Motor Park, said officials of the park have concluded a plan to increase the transport fare late Tuesday. As of now, passengers are paying 3,000 naira from Kano to Bauchi, which came as a result of development, an increment of 500 naira, which is expected by tomorrow, depending on the availability of fuel in the town. Now, the filling stations are yet to increase the prices, but many of them have closed, and this is a deliberate attempt to cause scarcity and subsequent increment, Mr. Ibrahim said. Now, also a government official who supervises the operation of government-owned businesses in Kano Line confirmed that there is a plan to increase the transport fare latest this week. Now, a driver plying Kano to Yola Highway, Suleiman, said passengers paid 5,000 naira, but with first scarcity removal, they might be asked to pay up to 7,000 naira to travel to the northeastern states. In Ekiti, it was observed that the vehicles conveying passengers from Ido Ekiti to Ado Ekiti charged 700 naira against the normal 500 naira, while bus fares from Ido Ekiti to Ifaki increased from 300 naira to 500 naira. Similarly, a trip from Ifa Ekiti to Ado Ekiti usually costs 300 naira has been increased to 400 naira, while passengers from Ogu Ekiti to Ido Ekiti now pay 600 naira instead of 400 naira. Now, in Uyo, the pump price of petroleum doubled in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, after the president has announced the end of petroleum subsidy. Now, some motorists in the state said petroleum marketers were hoarding the product, a development they said may cause pain to the people. Now, before Mr. Tinubu's pronouncement, the average price of PMS in Uyo was 230 naira, but the price skyrocketed to 600 naira at the time of visit. Now, as other filling stations visited along Oron Road and Airport Road, the price of PMS was sold from between 500 naira and 600 naira. Now, the price in PMS has also triggered an increase in the cost of transportation in the city, a development that residents expressed mixed feelings about. For instance, a distance from Ibom Plaza to Ibiaku is set along the airport road that cost 200 naira before the pronouncement of the president now costs 300 naira, an increase of 50%. Also, the price of boarding minibus from Plaza to NNPC mega station located along Ikote Panel Road is from 100 naira is now 150. Now, a resident in Castina who worked in a local radio lamented that the situation is affecting everybody. Now, from Alikai to Main Road, where the radio station is located, I used to pay 150 naira, but tricycle today I pay 300 naira. When I asked the driver why the increase, he lamented the petrol station have increased fares, and he had an option to increase his as well. Now, an official in the Federal University of this said the commercial vehicles had boarded from Katsina City to Dusima didn't increase its fare from 500 naira, but there are few vehicles on the road. I went to work very late because there were no available vehicles in the car park. Now, finally, a resident in Katsina State had traveled from Kano to Katsina and was surprised to learn about the sharp increment. He used to pay 1,200 naira in the park, but now he paid 1,600 naira in Kano. I was even told that the other parks within Katsina have increased their fares. And Mr. Ibrahim, a car wash attendant, said a school teacher, Rukai Shehu, said the tricycle operator she took from her house down to Ibrahim Estate increased from 100 naira to 150 naira.